So the Backrooms movie is releasing in just about 3 months and... what just happened? So, the upcoming Backrooms movie, what is the narrative going to be like? I think this is very interesting because it is based off of something that was initially a very niche internet trend that began in 2019, and since then the concept has been very popular in the form of found footage and short stories on YouTube. Now, due to the nature of the Backrooms being basically just a series of open, abandoned spaces that rely heavily on the mystery, it lends itself very well to that short form style of content on YouTube. And this applies to a lot of horror concepts. Think Mandela Catalog, for example. But even Kane Pixels, who is the director of the movie, if you look at his original series of Backrooms videos, most of them don't even cross the 10-minute mark. And that is because concepts like these thrive off of short snippets that people can piece together to, solve a mystery and maybe form a narrative. So what does that mean for the movie? Well, first of all, my assumption about this film is that the narrative will actually be relatively simple, at least in terms of where the Backrooms horror is concerned, because I can't imagine they intend to demystify the whole concept by answering a bunch of questions about it. But I think, arguably more important than the story in this instance, they need to capture the atmosphere of the Backrooms. They need to perfect that cold, abandoned, liminal space feel. But at the same time, I don't think they'll be able to linger on it for too long. I think spending extended periods of time in the traditional backroom setting risks the atmosphere growing stale very quickly, which again is part of the reason why it lends itself very well to that short form content style on YouTube. I've also seen a lot of people begging for there not to be entities included in the movie. Entities being, creatures or monsters roaming the backrooms. Good thing there's none of those around here. And I understand this point of view, and I get it. I think this also partly comes from a place of people fearing that bold inclusion of these creatures could add to the concept becoming stale and demystified. So I'm hoping what they did is they managed to strike a balance between making the story on the outside world compelling enough while giving us strong glimpses into the world of the Backrooms to support it without having it overstay its welcome.